going back with a Wansee entertainment video. I'm just going to watch like 2 or 3 videos because these are pretty short, so... Okay. We're going to watch... hitchhiking videos are always kind of fun, so... I'll watch some hitchhiking stories because they're pretty fun, not gonna lie. Sorry, just a burp. Haven't seen a good... Well, I've seen Wansee kind of recently. I don't know if... No, I haven't seen Wansee in a while, actually. We're going to start recording this now. Okay. So yeah, True Hitchhiking Story animated 2 days ago. This should be good.
Many years ago now, years before I was even born, my dad was driving through Arizona when he spotted a guy hitchhiking at the side of the road. He said it was a real scorcher that day, 100 degrees in the shade kind of deal, and there's this guy with no hat and no water bottle just walking along this desert road. Being the all-around great guy that he is, my dad pulls over and offers him a ride, claiming that there was no way the dude would have made it out of the valley without getting some serious heat stroke, probably. The guy seems incredibly grateful. He jumps in the car and they take off down the road.
Seems.
My dad asks the guy where he's headed, and the guy replies, next town over.
Why is he looking like that? Like, you know, the driver's here, you're here, and then the driver's here, and then you're just like looking like, bitch, look in front of you, what are you doing?
Before chugging from a bottle of water my dad offered him. They commenced a little small talk as they drive, and the guy tells him some common first name like Tom or Dave or something. Turns out the guy had been hitchhiking all the way across the state because he wants to cross into Mexico on account of his 90-year-old abuelita who was sick, and he wanted to see her before she passed on. The fact that he didn't have any money wasn't going to stop him either. He wanted to be at her bedside when she passed. My dad thought that was just about the sweetest thing he'd ever heard, and the hitchhiker looked like a real hard guy too, I guess you'd say. So it was extra touching seeing how you never really expect that from him. But everyone loves their grandma, I suppose.
Yeah,
they ended up driving together for way longer, and they worked out which point my dad would be farthest south using an old road map, so the guy could get out as far south as possible so he wouldn't have much further to go. He gets out, and my dad wishes him luck, and then he goes driving on his merry way.
Oh.
Some way down the road, a cop car appears in my dad's rear view, puts on its lights, and pulls him over. Like a model citizen, my dad pulls over, hands at 10-2, then asks the officer what the problem was. The cop doesn't say anything. He just asked to see his license. He took a good long look at the license, then told my dad to get out of the car. My dad then gets out of the car, and the cop starts searching around it for a while before closing the driver's side door and walking back over to him.
I don't think they can just like search your car for no reason.
The cop asks him if he picked up a hitchhiker a few miles back, and my dad says yes. The cop then asks if his name was something other than Dave or Tom, some Hispanic name, and my dad says no, that it was the plain common name that he'd been given. The cop then produces a photograph, and the guy in the picture is none other than the hitchhiker my dad had just spent the last hour or so with. When my dad says yes, that was the guy he just picked up. The cop told him he needed to follow him to the closest precinct to answer a few questions, because the guy wasn't some dedicated grandson headed to see his abuelita. He was wanted for the murder of a cop, and he was fleeing the country.
Oh, shit.
The cop told my dad that the guy would have killed him for his car just as soon as look at him, and that he'd probably have taken him hostage if they performed a traffic stop on his vehicle while Mr. Abuelita was still in the car. Knowing how close he'd been to danger really shook my dad up. He was only in his 20s at the time, early 20s too, still naive and stupid brave enough to just randomly pick folks up. Says the whole thing really changed his perspective on people, and he was much more cautious afterwards. Glad he was too, otherwise I might not even be here to tell this story for him. Rest in peace, Dad. Your kind, generous, silly self is missed infinitely.
That was kind of a sad video in the end, to be honest. Like, just hearing that he died already. I mean, obviously, you're gonna die eventually, but yeah, I don't know. That's just, like, really, like... To me, that's scary, you know what I mean? Like, you're just, like, because you want to help, you know what I mean? It's people like this asshole that you can't trust. Like, that's why you can't trust anybody getting into your car. Like, this is why. People like that. You know what I mean? Like, Because it's like, yeah, of course, a lot of people probably want to help out and do this and do that. But then it's like, because of bitches like this, you can't. Crazy Man's Home Invasion horror story animated. Let's watch this one next.
One night, I was awakened by a strange voice. Master, where do you want me to stab? As a voice was heard right in front of my face, I opened my eyes, totally frightened. What I saw was a strange man talking to the air with something sharp in his hand. Want me to take her heart out of the body? He was putting a surgical blade or something like that right to my chest. And he said, my master ordered me to take out your heart. While his face was heading to me, his eyes were looking at the ceiling. Snorting violently like he's getting the adrenaline rush. He kept nodding his head, then said, yes, sir, I'll get right on it. He told me, let me know how it feels when the knife penetrates into your flesh. Here it goes. I pushed him off, screaming. Then he said, backing off, Master, I can't take out the heart. She keeps moving. What should I do now? Knock her out or kill her? While he was talking to the air, I called 911 right away. Then he ran out of the house super fast. Maybe as fast as Usain Bolt. About 10 minutes later, the police arrived. But the
Is this not a dream? Is this actually Crazy Man's Home Invasion? Is this not a dream or what?
man was already gone. I didn't understand how he could come inside the house, though. I certainly locked the door. Was
Care
it
about
an
that?
illusion? No. I could still smell him in my room. The smell from his mouth was totally strange, which I'd never smelled before. It smelled of blood, and also it was like he ate something rotten. Next night, I went to bed after triple checking if all the doors were locked tightly. But in the early morning, I heard that voice again. He wants me to serve a palatable dish made with your fresh gut, kidney, eyeballs, and brain. He put the knife only about 1 centimeter away from my eyes, and he shouted into the air like, I'm gonna poke her eyes out for you, master. At that moment, I kicked him hard, screaming, and ran away to the bathroom. I locked the door and immediately called the police. He followed me to the bathroom and kept shouting, guess how many seconds it would take until your heart stops? Would it struggle hard to beat even outside your body? What do you think? I shouted, trembling with extreme fear.
These are dreams, right? There's no way this is real. Like, he's not just in her house with a knife. Like, you wake up just 1 second, oh my god.
In the bathroom. Well, why don't you just count how many seconds it takes until the cops arrive? Then he shouted back with anger. Count 10, and then I'm gonna poke your heart out first. And then he stabbed the bathroom door like mad. Fortunately, I heard a police siren outside in a minute, and the police rushed into the house, and he was arrested. Even getting arrested, he shouted into the air, forgive me, master. I'll definitely serve a nice dish for you next time. According to police investigations, a number of books and pictures related to Satanism and ancient rituals to eat human organs were found in his house. Besides, there were books about anatomy and relevant materials, surgical instruments, and even an operating table. Moreover, it was discovered that he had attempted this kind of crime several times already. He bragged that he had taken out someone's heart to eat, and even explained to the police proudly what it tasted like in detail. In addition, he showed some satanic drawings on his body, which looked like symbols of Satan made with a knife, shouting like that the master had given him an eternal life. When the police asked him who the master was, he answered like this. We are not the only beings in this world. There are more than we know. Who I serve is far stronger and superior than human, and he likes to eat human heart. I'm his servant and under his command. Ha ha ha. He got imprisoned after all.
Yeah.
But before long, he was found dead in jail
Oh.
after taking his and other prisoners' eyes out.
What the fuck? Yeah, because that was definitely real. What the fuck? Okay. 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 You know what? I think we can watch one more. This is only 2 minutes long. True roommate horror story. Okay.
I got accepted to a college out of the country, so I had a long flight that day. When I finally got there, the college administration gave me the keys to my apartment. I found out I had a roommate too, and her name was Jaden. She was very nice and kind, and we talked for a while. I was tired from the flight, so I decided to get to bed early. That night, I had a dream that I was falling from a great height. Suddenly, in the middle of the night, I woke up to the sound of someone crying. I didn't think much of it, since Jaden was a sensitive person, and it was her first time away from her family. But then, I realized I couldn't move, I couldn't talk, and Jaden was still crying. When I woke up the next morning, I looked over at Jaden and saw that she was terrified, as if she'd seen a ghost. I asked her, "Why were you crying last night?" And then she said, "There was a tall black figure right beside your bed, and that thing was watching you sleep, and then it crawled on you and just laid there." I didn't believe her until she showed me a picture.
Oh shit.
It was of me sleeping and that thing on top of me. She said, "I was crying, but that thing didn't go away." I realized that was why I couldn't move, because that creature had been on me. I soon moved out of there, and so did Jaden. But 2 years later, Jaden was found dead in her house. The police found out that she had been scared to death. That thing is still haunting me to this day.
What the fuck? True roommate horror. What did the roommate do? The roommate didn't do anything. The hell did the poor roommate do? Nothing. What? You know what? I'm watching one more because that was really, really short, guys. I'm sorry. I'm sure you guys like this anyways. This one, True Break-In Horror Story. I don't know about you guys, but I love this, like... Oh, it just gets me nervous. It gets me going. Not in that way, but, you know, it gets me going in the scared way. 2:22 a.m. Let's go.
I live in a city located in a valley with a lot of smaller towns up the hills and mountains around, so it's part of the local culture for teenagers and young adults to visit these smaller areas during the winter to drink, smoke weed, and hang out with their friends. My uncle bought a house in one of these areas, so eventually I decided to get the keys and spend a weekend there with 5 of my friends. The house has 2 big bedrooms with 3 beds each and a lot of extra mattresses. At night, we decided at some point to go back inside and just chill, watching TV.
Okay, sus right
But
there.
since the living room had no sofas yet, we brought some mattresses from the bedrooms and just used them.
Okay.
One of my friends, Victor, decided to go out to smoke, and after some minutes, we hear someone
Close the
knock on
curtain.
the window just behind us. Everyone got scared for a second, but just looked at the window and said things like, "Ah, it's just Victor." But since we were sitting on mattresses close to the ground, it wasn't easy to see clearly who it was at the window, and since the person just stood there looking straight at one of the girls, I got up to check. I saw a man who somehow looked a lot like my friend, but a bit more fat and obviously older than him. As I came to the conclusion that it was a stranger, I froze while looking at him and him looking back at me, and when I said, "It's not Victor," everyone else froze and looked
Shit.
at me waiting for a reaction. But all I could think was to ask what he wanted. He just stood there for a second and asked,
Just so angry.
"There's a bar nearby and we need a drummer to play with our band. Is any of your friends a drummer by any chance?"
The fuck? No.
Which, weirdly enough, I was. But I told him no, and after some extra long seconds looking at us, he left. My friend came back and we made fun of the situation, making jokes on how it was him messing with us.
Okay.
Later, most of the group decided to sleep in one bed and leave the second for me and one of the girls since they saw us kissing earlier. And we all go to bed, but some hours later I wake up to the girl shaking me in horror. and whispering that she heard something coming from the kitchen. So, I get up, tell her to lock the bedroom when I leave and go to check the sound like the moron who always dives first in films. As I pass by the second bedroom, I think about calling someone else to join me, but as soon as I see them all sleeping, I hear something at the kitchen's window. I quickly move there in silence, check around, and as soon as I find and grab a knife, the door opens right in front of me. It was the same gun. I knew it was no joke since I just saw my friend sleeping. It probably took like 5 to 10 seconds of us staring at each other, but it felt like an eternity.
Oh.
While still holding the door handle, he made a slow movement with the other hand towards something under
He has a gun, doesn't he?
Which was probably a gun or a knife. But I also lifted my hand, showing him the knife.
He's like, no.
The kitchen was quite small.
I mean, to be fair, if he has a gun, he can easily be like, "Pacha!" Done. You, on the other hand, gotta be like, ah! You know what I mean? So, like, either way, you're kind of fucked, fam.
So we were standing close to each other, and at this point, we both knew that it would end bad for both of us if he tried something. So I just shook my head and said as calm as I could, "Don't." He just kept staring at me a bit more and then finally closed the door and went away. I went back, told the girl...
Was that the front door or was that the kitchen door? I thought this was like the kitchen door or some shit.
We should get back to bed. I didn't sleep that night. We left early in the morning and I made sure to ask my uncle and cousins if they ever received weird visits there. They said that the only person who ever goes there at night is the old neighbor when his wife doesn't let him arrive drunk at home, so he grabs my uncle's rocking chair to sleep until he gets sober. Now every year my friend talks about spending another weekend there, but I always make an excuse, so we never go through that again. And thankfully, I never had to tell them what happened.
Damn. Okay guys, that's the end of my little Wansee videos there. Not too long of a video, or a decent amount. Saw some good stories there. I do want to watch more, maybe some longer ones, maybe a different time, but I'm tired right now and I gotta get to bed because I'll be waking up early tomorrow. But yeah guys, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed it, be sure to give it a like, be sure to comment down below what you guys thought of this video, and be sure to subscribe and turn on post notifications for more videos like this. I really hope you guys liked it, and all I gotta say is be careful. I do think that some of those stories were fake in the sense of, like, how did that person get in your house and they're just on you and like Satan, and it's like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what? Anyways. Yeah, it was funny how he was like, "Don't do it." Okay, bye. Like, stories never end like that. Like, you say, no, don't, and then you just get shot. It's normally how it would work, at least. Anyways, well, I think that's how it works. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys liked it, be sure to give it a, I'll be sure to give it a like and all that good stuff. If you guys want more videos like this, please let me know, because I definitely like doing them. I definitely like reacting to horror stories, especially animated ones. And Mr. Nightmare's pretty good too. I miss when Llama Arts used to animate Mr. Nightmare's videos. They were always such like a good couple together, you know? Because I'm pretty sure Llama Arts is a girl, so it's like, bruh, date already. Like, you guys are perfect for each other. Anyways, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Deuces. Peace.